And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Strollin Trollin. I have a question. How did I get stuck with doing the intros to this?
It's Strollin and Trollin.
Because you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
You're the reason people come here.
They come
You're
here.
the reason people come.
Anyways, we're back. What?
Do you know how hard it is to point Xbox? You know how hard it is to point when you're not looking at your actual hand and you're trying to look at it in the thing?
We do.
It's like I'm playing Surgeon Simulator.
We're already at the showing things off point of the episode again.
Eagle. Welcome back, Strollin and Trollin.
Today's gonna be a good episode. I recently just saw Spider-Man No Way Home for the first time, and I have a lot more to say about it. And then I did.
When did you do that?
A few days ago, when we did our Marvel 5 movie marathon that we've been wanting to do for a long time.
I don't remember doing that.
Marvel 5 was Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 1,
Iron Man 3 again.
and then Spider-Man Far From Home.
We should totally do that for one of the marathons and just watch the same movie 5 times. I think that would be really funny. It have to be like the Minions movie 5 times.
King Bob! King Bob! King Bob! You know what I'm saying, right, Tyler? That was your favorite movie.
True.
Yeah, it is actually.
I did review it.
He gave that thing like a 9 out of 10.
Did I? My scaling was off. Anyway, we're back. So today's gonna be a throwback to Strollin and Trollin episodes of old, when you two would just go off on Marvel tangents for the majority of the episode, and I would just sit here in silence. And
I don't know if that ever happened on camera.
I think that only happened when we were watching movies together.
That only happened IRL.
I think it happened in episodes too. But now, we're going to do it again, and this time I'm going to be doing more talking, because I'm more knowledgeable about the topic now. And
not when we start talking about the comics, Pringleson.
Well, we're not talking about the comics, are we? Well, we could, but I will
Do you know Mephisto?
Did you know that the comic that movie was based on, No Way Home, was like the war? People hate that Spider-Man comic.
People do hate that Spider-Man comic because he sells his soul to Mephisto for love.
He sells his marriage to Mephisto.
To save his marriage, yeah.
No, he sells his marriage to save Aunt May.
Why?
He didn't want her to die, even though Aunt May told him not to.
Even though Aunt May said specifically, Peter, I want to die.
She's been alive for a very long time.
Likus, Wonder Pig.
Wow, I got 2 good ones in a row today.
Pokemon TCG is a surprisingly good game for what it is, I'll be honest. It's so satisfying, and it came at the perfect time for everybody because the scalpers are crazy, and there are no Pokemon cards anywhere, so I still get my fix.
I know, I do have to build up gold bars or whatever, so I can buy, cosmetics. I could just spend like $23 to get like an icon or something, but I don't want to.
I just had like a visual image of Likus on the top of a hill, pointing and telling like a set of like 5 kids to go mine gold for him. It was a very dystopian, like a Soviet Union poster, like "Together we will." But it was Likus at the top, and 5 children. Because he needs gold bars.
The gold bar is to buy the Cynthia icon pack.
It's not even available anymore. It's Lily now.
I know. That is annoying. I don't like the limited time
It'll come
like
back,
things
I'm sure.
like that.
It's like I keep
But it's
waiting
also
for them to
doesn't
just
even
like.
matter because I wasn't going to get them anyway.
That's true. I keep waiting for them to snap their fingers and make like old packs that you could open just not openable anymore. Just take them away one at a time.
Yeah. I'm waiting for eventually. I think they might make old ones cheaper to open, but
Why?
I don't know. I feel like that just might happen. It's like the Clash Royale effect,
No, they'll have
what?
where they have
They'll
to
have-
introduce champion tier cards because they made legendaries too easy to get.
You know what they'll do? They'll make it so you could open a pack, but you can actually not open the pack and save a sealed pack, so you could trade packs in the future.
That would be
And sell
insane.
them on the TCG black market for more gold bars.
Anyway, so it's going to be a Marvel-focused episode today. But first, I have a rant that I want to go on. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but so I watch YouTube a lot on my phone because my iPad died a few months ago. So I watch YouTube now on this device, and the YouTube app, like, it's fine for what it is. I mean, but like there was always like the mini player function where you could just like, it's hard to explain, but you do the swipe thing and it goes from like a full screen video down to like a little screen, and then you can scroll on the menu, or you can go search up something else, or because when that random video you were thinking about comes to mind, you want to search it up so it's in your search history before you watch the rest of the other video, and then you can go watch this video, that kind of thing, right? And it was always very convenient because for the longest time they always had the X button to get out of the video was always in the top right corner, and then the pause button, if you wanted to pause the video, was always in the middle bottom of the thing. But for some fucking reason, a couple of days ago, they decided to fucking change it, and now the pause button is over here.
What are you talking about?
The pause button's over here, and the X button is somewhat different.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
don't know
X
what he's
button.
talking about.
You gotta do the thing. Go to mini player mode.
Oh, mini player mode. Oh! No, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it always has been.
Yeah, it doesn't look different to me.
No, the X was on the other side. The X used
Although
to be on
I
the other
don't
side.
use like the normal YouTube.
Actually, the X used to be
mobile
here.
app.
The X used to be here, and now they put the pause button over here. So every time I try and go exit out of a fucking video, I end up pausing it, and I'm like, "Why is this still playing?" Because when I have the video,
What? You had to pause it?
but so now in YouTube always has like a fucking panic attack every time I have a video like paused but not closed, and I try to open a different video. It decides to do a random thing, and then shows me like 500 million ads, and then it takes me to a completely different website. I don't know what it's doing, and it's really
How do
pissing
you
me
even
off.
have access to the mini player? I thought that was a premium feature.
It's not.
Oh. Cool. As long as they don't
piss-
show me ads, I'll be fine. I
That
get to play
piss-
YouTube games. Is that a premium feature?
I
No,
don't
I
know.
can
if
do
that-
that on desktop. I play the one where the guy gets big, where you're like playing the guy.
The one where the guy gets big.
I have a high score of like 1,100 or something.
Oh god, Likus.
I played it one time, so that's my.
I play the
that's
one
my
where the
first
guy
score.
gets big.
Anyway, so fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube.
Skill issue. Pretty sure it didn't change. I think you're just crazy.
It did change.
No. So how about that weather, huh?
I'm saying.
Yeah, what the hell is up with this? So first, like the last episode, we talked about the crazy storms that we were getting, and then like all these storms
you
come
talk
through.
about more storms?
The storms come through, and now it's like almost Memorial Day, and it feels like it's fucking November again. It feels like it's about to be Thanksgiving, not Memorial Day.
It is legitimately October weather right now. Let me go figure out what the temperature is. I don't need to open my mail. Bitch. 50 52 degrees.
In May.
It was a high of 53 today, high of 60 tomorrow, high of 62 on Sunday. Brother, it is the end of May. What are we doing? I mean, hell, it's going to be a high of 35 on Friday, next Friday. What's
What?
up with that?
High of
No.
High of 35. What?
With a 35% chance of rain that might even be snow.
It's gonna be 71 with a 35% chance of rain.
Yeah, I lied. You weren't supposed to look into it. You were just supposed to go spread misinformation that it was going to be 35 degrees next Friday. And then people were going to call you stupid.
Cool temps expected in Mitch this weekend. Rain possible in some areas. Thank you, Apple Weather.
Poor Mitch. Yeah, I was mowing the lawn earlier and I was like dying because it was so cold. I had to put on pants.
Oh, pants. I put away
Remember
put away all my pants for the summertime and now it's cold again.
I put away all my pants. Do you guys remember when I saved that snake the other day for my dog? I sent a picture of it. I don't remember when it was or even in what chat I sent that in.
I remember that.
Yeah, I found that snake dead in the backyard today.
Did the dog get
Wow.
at it?
Yeah, probably. It was probably back there for a while.
Damn.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have a mice problem. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
What snake
And if
stuff?
you know what they say, if you give a mouse a cookie, he'll ask for a glass of milk.
So the snakes die, and that's when the mice are like, "Time for us to go inside." Is that what it is?
Yeah, because the snake isn't. I had my guardian, and now he's gone.
If I remember
My
correctly,
snake-
if I remember that correct, that snake wasn't very large. So it.
He was like this big.
Oh damn!
I know that doesn't mean anything to anyone, but if there's that guy on YouTube who can like guess what people's heights is based on things in the background, he could definitely figure out my height based on this thing alone and these headphones. And Eagle.
Eagle. There you go.
He can figure it out.
There you go. You just got to get a pet eagle. Tame an eagle.
Yeah, it's about yay big, or it was about yay big, I guess. It's dead now.
That, or you just got to get like a pet Burmese python or whatever, and just have it roam
Burmese?
around. Yeah, what a Burmese.
You say Burmese?
I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Burmese?
There'd be no more mice around with Mr. Burmese.
No more mice. No more mice. Like, 'cause you've been awfully quiet since the allegations. What would you like to say on your behalf?
I'm sorry I killed your snake.
You should be.
Snake murder? Likus wants the
I'll
death
make
of our
you
ecosystem.
sorry.
I needed a snake skin cloak.
Yeah, and where is it?
You didn't take very much skin off.
It had a lot.
Anyway,
Oh, brother.
so Likus is a murderer. We can add that to the law allegations. Now. So
What other list of allegations do you have that you need to specify it like that?
we'll find out when we go to court.
I'm gonna grab a drink. Noah's gone. Ah. That's crazy.
Dead computer.
Likus!
15 minutes in, and it is break time! Intermission!
Where did Likus go?
Oh yeah, Dr. Pepper!
That's
It's
Dr.
not Dr.
Mike.
Pepper.
Oh, that's Shasta Black Cherry. Forgot.
What's the bald doctor, the one who's in porn?
The bald doctor?
House?
with a
No, House does the prostate exams, and then he takes the glove off with his
Me
mouth.
on the end, Likus, the bald doctor, not the bald doctor.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Johnny Sins, that's his name. Everybody knows who that is.
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He's the porn guy. He's the porn guy.
The porn
Come
guy.
on. Load up. Load up, bitch. Hurry up. I don't want to be here.
I love this little reflection in the screen.
Hi.
Jeffy
Hello,
Surprise.
Discord.
Oh, and he's gone.
Jeffy's gone.
Jeffy challenge.
Jeffy
Jeffy
disappeared.
back.
Hello.
Jeffy is of dubious status.
Hello.
Woo!
I'm back.
Woo!
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. What were we talking about before my computer killed itself?
I have a ghost story. So I was playing Kirby's Adventure.
Ghost of Tsushima, okay.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And you know, the NES is about to turn 40, which is kind of crazy to think about. So obviously, the games on the console are not going to run the greatest, right? Kirby's Adventure, by the way, great game, holds up very well. I'll talk about it in the review that you'll see in a few months.
In 3 years.
But getting it to start was a problem in its own, because I put the cartridge in, it'd be the yellow screen of death. You know, the red ring of death or the blue screen of death? Well, there's the yellow screen of death for NES games, right? I got it out of that, and it started showing some random pixelizations, and then it finally started working. And I got to the end of the first level of the game, and the game froze. So then I had to start the process all over again. And during this process, I got a bunch of different distorted and like discolored like startup screens with some very.
Didn't you have that with like that one? I can't remember if it was Pong or Racing or something like that on the NES. There was another one that had distorted stuff going on.
A lot of them do. It's not the games; it's the console. The console is.
It's not the
old.
games; it's the ghost.
But like this one was probably the creepiest because it would do like dark. It would do like a black version, and then it would do like a grayed out version.
What's wrong with the black version?
Wow, Pringleson.
What's wrong with the black version, Tyler?
Wow.
Nothing's wrong.
You got something against black Kirby?
No, that's my main
Good.
color in Smash.
Okay.
Anyway, it was like the noises were like the creepiest because it was like some horror, like it was like straight out of like The Ring.
Give me a
some shit
demonstration. What kind of noises? What kind of noises was this making?
I only
Give me a
remember one of
demonstration.
them distinctively. It was like, I can't.
When you boot up the game, did you like take it out, blow it, and put it back in or whatever?
Yeah, I did that several times. I also spam.
Yeah, you still did that.
I also spam.
If you put it in right now, would it still do that?
Probably.
You're gonna have to show me when I come over on Monday.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you record? Didn't you say you recorded a short on it or something?
I did, and I keep forgetting to upload them. They're still on my phone.
You should do that.
But the craziest part was whenever I turned on the camera to film like the shorts, they got a lot less bad. Like they would start to actually work, and then the minute I would turn the camera off, it would go shitty again, and it was really pissing me off because it was
That would
possessed.
creep me the hell out.
It was possessed. I am convinced that game is possessed, and I am not a fan of it. Not a fan of it.
Not
But
a fan of possessions.
once I got past that and the game started working, great game. It worked fine. But getting it to start up was a problem. Similar issues have happened with other games, but I feel like Kirby's Adventure so far, out of all the NES games we have, was the worst at it. Except for Snake Rattle and Roll, but I never got that game back, so it doesn't count.
Good old horse porn. That's an inside joke that nobody else will ever understand. Maybe we'll talk about the horse porn on this podcast.
Maybe. Oh, God. Anyways, those were I've been wanting to tell that ghost story for a while. I should have told it in episode 1. I don't know why I didn't do that. By the way, how'd you guys like...
because an episode... What?
How'd you guys like our in-person episode? Episode 2. Wait, episode 2? 3?
2.
How'd you guys like that in-person?
It's actually like episode like fucking 70 at this point, I guess.
Well, you probably want to split it off into like season 1 before we paused it forever, and then season 2 is now.
Season 1 was before we paused it forever. No, because you're forgetting, right? Podcast time, season 1, season 2, right? And then we stopped doing it. And then we came back, recorded 2 episodes, which are now lost to time and space because you are incapable of recording things correctly. And then...
That's why you're trusting me to record the new version, right?
I trust you now. You're different. Your belt. You hold up my pants. You are belt.
I am belt.
Back then, you pulled my pants down. But now, you hold them up.
I vehemently deny all allegations.
But yeah, then we went... Because Vincent's been on the podcast like 5 times.
He is like our leading guest.
Every time we reboot it, we bring him back. I still work with him, so I could like just walk up to him one day and be like, "Hey, a podcast is back. Do you want to go on again?"
I think it was funny too when we asked. We did the questionnaire with Anne at the end of the second episode. I was like, "Are you a stroller or are you a troller?" But Anne's also already been on the podcast prior to.
I don't think that existed when we did that. When Anne came on and flipped off the router, I don't think that we did that question. I don't think that was a thing. I don't remember doing that at all, ever, so...
Maybe we didn't. I haven't watched that episode in a while, but...
You mean you don't do your research before we do these?
Oh, I did my research on the main topic, which we can jump into now if we want to.
No,
your
like a
research
small talk?
that you watched the movie?
And
like
I did
what's
other
your small
things.
talk? Like it's small talk away.
Oh, I guess today my apartment plumbing decided to blow up.
Boring. Moving on.
I got the special colored water coming out of my my
What does that mean?
Like
Was
it was
because
like
of the jelly beans?
like it says oil coming out of his toilet.
Orange for like half a second, and then it was normal.
Lycus has oil coming out of his toilet.
And then there was a separate, unrelated problem. Get those away from me, or I'll throw up. There was a separate, unrelated problem with our toilet that I was able to fix myself. So that was an epic moment. That was an epic
Lycus the
Lycus.
plumber.
summer nap.
Lycus.
You know, plumbers make good money.
But now you need a belt.
Pringleson needs one first. He gets first priority.
I already have a belt.
Pringleson does pop his ass out every chance he gets, doesn't he?
I already have
Pringleson, if you need to wear it then.
I wear it
He's
to work all the time.
son.
I have to wear every time I wear the belt. I always have to take a massive fart whenever I leave work, and so that's why I don't like
Pringles
wearing it.
So yeah, that was my morning. It was actually kind of crazy. But you know, solve the problem, you live. Life goes on, baby.
I thought you were about to be like, solve the problem, you leave. You... Fuck. Solve the problem, you live. Fail to solve problem, you die. I still don't like jelly beans, turns out.
Then why'd you buy a whole bag of them?
What a surprise.
I didn't. I forgot about them. I forgot to put them in their bowl. By the way, how's that bowl coming along?
Oh, it's we moved it to a jar.
Did you fill that jar with some other illicit substance?
No, we used an old like peanut butter pretzel container and we put it in there instead.
So,
Oh boy, some peanut butter pretzels. Pulls out the fucking liquid Band-Aid. Jelly bean flavor.
No, the tastier in your with you. I slipped them in your car. They're probably still in there,
The what?
collecting fumes.
You found the other special gift that was left for you, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
The tasty jelly beans I left in your car.
Yeah, no, I drove back up to your apartment and left it at the doorstep so the Amazon guy could take it again, like he did with
Oh
your
yeah, he
package.
must have taken it because it wasn't there. So
I don't think it was the Amazon guy that sniped his package.
I honestly don't know.
Although it is weird because you live on the top floor and there's only 4 apartments up there. And the assumption that one of those 4 apartments stole your package is crazy to me. Which implies that the person who stole your package followed the Amatron truck to your apartment. And then they were like, oh my god, the package has landed. And in the 3 minutes between you receiving the package and going to get the package, sprinted up the stairs, stole the package, barrel rolled out the window. Oh, evil Spider-Man, duh. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that must have been evil Spider-Man.
Venom. Venom. Venom.
Anyway, you guys know how Instagram is like the most cursed place on the planet? When
Yeah.
Tyler will send me, I think, Likus, did you send me the GMM clip compilation? Was it from Instagram?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I click every time I click on something that somebody sends me from Instagram, I'll get caught in that doom scroll. And I keep getting sent these videos of things in cum jars. I got one today that was an Annabelle amiibo, and you can't even see the amiibo, and he goes to scan it in for Smash, and it scans in through the jar. I almost saved it, just so I can send it. Let me see if I can... Is there a history?
Which character was it? Which amiibo?
Annabelle? Isabel.
Isabel. That's a crazy one to pick.
I don't know, I'm not an Animal Crossing guy.
Listen, there's
Do you know-
Byleth and Corin. I'd pick one of those.
Rob.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
What?
Like, what is this? Is there a history in here? Can I like look up what I was watching? How do you do that?
I sent you one earlier today about bacon pancakes or whatever.
Bacon pancakes with that song that's been everywhere recently. Yeah, so really, I get like one of 3 things when it comes to Instagram. Whatever people send me. So now that you sent me GMM clip, I am getting GMM clips. And it'll be like the same for anything that anybody sends me, like One Piece memes and stuff. Weird and deranged videos, like the cum jar one, or that stealing Taco Bell fat guy, people covering themselves in pudding and stuff, or just straight up porn. Those are the 3 things that Instagram has.
There's like thirst traps, and then there's some that are just so strange.
Well, again, because it's like we live in a post OnlyFans, or I guess a current OnlyFans world. So this stuff didn't start out this way, but now it's like, how much skin can we show before we get taken down? And they'll have like literally everything out there for the public to see, just random people in the internet.
Oh yeah,
And we're not even paying for it on Instagram. So like I can assume I can like whatever, you go girl, get your hustle or whatever, but
yeah.
you're just doing it for free on Instagram. What's the point?
I mean,
don't-
most
I
of them have like a link to something. I
It's
have
true.
to imagine, right?
But how many people are clicking on that link? I guess I don't know that they don't get paid for Instagram Reels for views or whatever.
Actually, honestly, they probably do. Maybe. I'm not sure.
They probably have a pimp like Jack Doherty or somebody. That
I mean, I think most of them are just girls that are just take videos of themselves. Like,
But they go from like I've seen a couple of them because I never use Instagram, right? Except for when people send me stuff, and I get like caught in a doom scroll until I come up across something that I just like really hate. Like it'll be like, how many scrolls before I get to a George Floyd death meme? You know?
oh yeah, there's so many of those.
And then I'll get to it and I'll be like, okay, that's enough Instagram for me today. And but like I've seen like the progression, right, of some of these people, because it's, you know, obviously if you watch these videos, they will send you more of these videos, despite the fact that you actually watch the video or not. Like you could watch 2 seconds of it and it'll still send you more of that, right? Or like I watched one GMM clip that Likus sent me, and now all of a sudden I'm getting GMM clips out the wazoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I've seen like several women on Instagram evolve, if that makes any sense. Like I like
OnlyFans creators evolving.
as time goes on, they lose more and more clothing. Like I'll just be like, it'll be like a month ago, I'll be like scrolling through, and I'll see one, and I'll be like, wow, wowza, and then I'll be like, whatever, and scroll again. And then, you know, I'll get to the George Floyd memes, and I'll just be like, okay, time to be done. And then Tyler will send me another Instagram reel a month later, and I'll see that same girl, but less clothes this time. And then I'll get to George Floyd again, and then a month later, someone will send me another one, and then I'll see that same girl, but there's like literally the least amount of clothes you could possibly wear. And that's just how that works on Instagram. Instagram is like a pit of hell. You're either getting kids injured or dying, people doing grotesque acts to themselves or objects, mega racism, thirst trap women evolving into OnlyFans women.
Evolving.
And then, for me, it's One Piece memes. That's the only other thing on there. And maybe GMM memes, now that, like, it sent me that one video.
I mean, there's plenty of, like, normal stuff, but, like, you'll go through, like, 3 normal things, and then you'll get, like, someone in Minecraft trying to make an Enderman farm fried chicken item frame. And, like, what world do we live in?
Well, I don't know. Instagram, in my opinion, Instagram is, like, the epitome of the worst of humanity, all in one place. Which makes sense, because Facebook owns it. And Facebook is known for being the worst of the worst.
It's okay, Grok AI on Twitter is probably worse.
We'll talk about that next episode.
Yeah,
That's
Facebook.
part of the thing I want to talk about.
Facebook
Yeah.
will be its own episode probably too. There's a lot we can say on Facebook, and oh boy,
We'll make a post on Facebook instead of an episode of this podcast. We'll just upload a script. We'll record a
Oh yeah,
video.
this podcast is scripted, by the way.
We'll record a video. I'll video to text it and then just upload it. I'm sure I could find an AI that'll do that for me. I don't like jelly beans. I'm putting these back. But yeah, that's my small talk. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Take it away,
Spider-Man. That's what we were talking about.
Spider-Man.
So yeah, we just recently watched No Way Home. We also watched Far From Home, but I'm not going to talk about Far From Home too much here. No Way Home, though. I mean, Far From Home is a good movie, really good movie.
It's the best. It's the best movie.
That's true. It is the only one. It does have Nick Fury in it, so that makes it good.
Oh, he's not in No Way Home. That's right.
Which is
He gets shafted.
a travesty. But the movie I'm more emotionally invested in is Far.
You can say Far From Izzo.
What?
That's a different spider movie.
Far From Home. No Way Home. No Way Home. is the one I'm more emotionally invested in. And I did record a review of it, which isn't out yet, but it will be out in due time.
Due time.
In due time. And I gotta say though,
it'll be out in November.
Actually, September.
You moved it up?
It was always going to be in September. And then I found out that I skipped a day in August in the backlog that was just empty for no reason. So I had to shift everything up. So
why didn't you just move a video that you have recorded 3 years ago that's at the end of the backlog? Why don't you just move one of those videos that's at the end of the backlog all the way to the front of the backlog? So you can diminish the backlog?
I did that, but I like to have... I don't like it to be... With the movie reviews getting a pretty sizable backlog now, I like to have movie review, game review, movie review, game review. And so I had to shift everything to keep it like that. And then once we got done with the movie reviews, I just shifted the last game review up to the open slot, and it was good. But
it's really funny to me that you're just a review channel that does like random things occasionally on the side.
That is becoming the bulk of the content, which I mean is fine. I don't really have anything else crazy right now. I mean, there will be other things.
It'll be like Code Red when you run out of backlog and the daily uploads stop.
But will that really ever happen?
I think eventually you will run out of games and movies.
The day that we have watched every single movie ever made is the day that we have to like jump off the face of the earth and never come back.
I already told you I'm not watching My Little Pony movies. I refuse. It's not gonna happen. I can't do that. You put princess movies in one of those marathons, and I already don't want to do that. But because I like Tangled and I like Dwayne Johnson, it'll be fine. But the My Little Pony movies have no redeemable qualities at all.
Well, maybe
and I'm not a brony.
Maybe we won't classify those as movies, so we don't have to watch them.
Well, it's already weird that you were like there was a time period where you were just reviewing Dora games. Like, what caused that? Why did you do that?
LikunMiffery caused it when he gave me his big pouch of DS and 3DS games for me to play while on a 2-week vacation. So I'm stuck in the back of the car while we're driving through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm playing Dora's Cooking Adventure. Or we're pulling up to the White House, and I've got Boots on the screen. Hey, Joe Biden, look what I'm playing.
It's the image of Tyler in the backseat with the headphones on, plugged in the DS, playing Dora. Like in the review where he's like, where's the tomato? The tomato's right next to the... he does that, but he does that in real life. He's like actively... Like, I like to imagine that when Dora asks you where the tomato is, you answer that question out loud in real life. And your parents are just like, I think our son is autistic.
A what?
But they also think you're gay. And
what?
a woman. So.
What? Which means I'm a lesbian. Which is... Sweet. Anyway, Spider-Man.
We'll have a conversation. We'll take an entire episode to talk about your parents. How about that?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
We'll do it on the Peach Story episode.
Okay. No, that's got to be. Apparently, that's got to be on the Valentine's Day episode when you guys talked about my love life, because apparently you thought the Peach Story was a part of my love life, which is not true at all.
You told us the Peach Story. We know everything about the Peach Story.
True.
Do you not remember that?
Yes, I remember. How could I forget?
The biggest letdown of all time. I don't know. I was just expecting you tried to fuck a peach. I don't know what to tell you. That's where my mind went.
The hype machine does not favor you in that regard. Well, okay, so back So what were they? Oh yeah, the review. The review might very well be my magnum opus of movie reviews. It is
Definitely is.
It is 47 minutes long, which is the longest movie review for a single movie that I've ever done, I believe.
Evil Bong.
That was 9 movies in one, idiot.
Listen, they're all the same movie.
That is true.
Like, 'cause you weren't there for the whole marathon, okay?
He saw enough.
That's true. I guess if you saw one movie, you saw all of them.
Yeah, like, I watched 5 of them. Okay?
We do need to get him to watch Ginger Weed Man, though.
Dude, I don't know if you need me to do that.
I think you should watch the one where they go to Vegas, too. That one was wild.
That was a very wild one. Or what was it, the last one with the restaurant and, like, the Karen? That was weird, too.
They got better over time, and I don't know if that was because I was getting Stockholm Syndromed into it, or that we were getting so much closer to being done with it that I was just getting excited. But, like, when we were in Sexy Hell, that was rock bottom. They got rid of Larnell, and I thought I was going to kill myself because I would only have Rabbit to look forward to.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
After they got rid of all of the other interactive characters, killed the Ginger Dead Man. And then said the Ginger Dead Man will return to Ginger Dead Man 3. Or 4. Was it 4?
Yeah, it was like Ginger Dead Man Rebaked or something. And that movie never came out. And I cannot find anything on it. Which is extremely weird. But then he returns at the end of the last movie. He's just like there, which is really weird.
It's okay, they weren't doing much with him. They dressed him up as a karate kid. And then he just cried.
Yeah,
I got a coffee one.
He kills like 2 people, and then he just turns into like a good guy until he's killed.
He didn't even kill anybody. Nobody died in the Evil Bong movies.
No, 2 people. He killed 2 people in his first the crossover movie, the Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong. I don't remember who.
I only remember like Alistair Larnell and
I'm doing my best to try and what's it? Not repent.
Don't you mean Atticus?
Atticus Finch?
It was not Atticus.
What was the one guy? What did he say? Bogus? What did he kept saying? The dude. I don't know why I don't even know why I'm
trying to.
I think we should let Pringleson talk about Spider-Man.
I'm trying to repress these movies from my memory, and we keep bringing them up, and I don't.
Rabbit.
Oh, that's what it was. Monkey.
Rabbit.
He kept saying monkey. I remember that. Talking about Spider-Man and my suffering.
So, again, like I said, 47 minutes long. I cried during the review, which was not planned.
You cried multiple times during the review.
I did. The movie is very emotional, which... Yeah, it is.
The review is 10 times more emotional than the movie.
Is that true? That's probably true.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
You go from screaming to crying in, like, not 0.2 seconds, so...
It got very mixed together, I will say. Because, like, I was A, trying not to sneeze, B, trying not to bawl my eyes out, C... Well, C was the third thing, but...
Why do you keep stopping yourself from sneezing?
Because I don't like sneezing on camera. And like crying.
How am I meant to make a compilation of every time
here's
you
the
sneeze
thing.
if you don't sneeze on camera?
Crying sneezes are like 10 times more depressing and gross than regular sneezes as well. So
Do you cry sneeze often?
No.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's why I don't try and cry and sneeze. Is because they're disgusting. More disgusting than regular sneezes.
Listen, buddy, I need sneezes.
Anyway.
Aunt Pomeroy gave me a sneeze that is from one of your oldest videos you've ever made the other day. Because in the new ones, you don't sneeze. You stop yourself from sneezing.
That's true.
Don't do that.
Okay, I'll try. I'll sneeze as much as possible in future. I'll huff pepper. Just wait.
I've done that. I have done that. I snorted pepper. It didn't help me sneeze because I needed to sneeze, and it wasn't it was really bad, right? You get that feeling in your nose where you really need to sneeze, and it was driving me insane. It just wouldn't come out. So I was so desperate and so dead brained that I grabbed a packet of pepper, ripped it open, and just went. And then I just had pepper in my nose, and it didn't help at all. So then I had pepper in my nose and the need to sneeze, and neither one of them was helping me. I've done things I'm not proud of. I've snorted pepper. I've eaten an entire spoonful of salt. That was after I came out of a cave. That was not fun. There's a little bit of context missing there, but it's true.
Future episode.
Charlie, the one who had 2 kids, paid me $10 to eat an entire onion. I took 3 bites, threw up, but it gave me the $10 anyway because he felt so bad. They were like big bites. I was taking massive bites out of this onion, you know? And then there are other things that I'm not proud of that I've done, but those are on camera. Like when I vomited in the scavenger hunt. I was like so committed to drinking that like terrible ranch soda, and I was so terrible, and I just kept drinking it. Then there was the first time we drank ranch soda. There was the butter soda. I've eaten a lot of things I don't like. The liver and onion jelly bean. Not a fan. But yeah, so don't snort pepper. It doesn't help you sneeze. Turns out, you've been lied to by society and the government. But don't worry, good old Jeffy's here to clear the tension.
Anyway,
why do I keep eating?
I was
these?
very emotional review. It was. I don't know if I'll ever top it. I don't know if I'll ever top it. I don't know if I'll ever top that review. Nor do I really want to. But with me having already voiced a lot of things about this movie that you will see in due time, I wanted to get your guys'
in 3 months.
I wanted to get your guys' opinions on the movie, and like, if you agree with my points that it's like very emotional, and it's like, and like the ending too, because I spend about half the video talking about the ending because I really despise the ending, especially with information that I have come to know since watching it and since recording that review that makes me piss it off even more.
What are you referring to?
The fact that there's going to be another Tom Holland Spider-Man, and they will probably negate that entire ending in that movie.
Probably not. Likus, by the way, 3 of the villains in that movie have been revealed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember who any of them are. One of them was Tombstone, I think.
Oh, that's interesting, actually.
That'll be a good one.
But they're thinking it's going to be like an opening montage.
I saw like a thumbnail of a YouTube video saying that it was gang, which implies to me that the other ones are going to be like Kingpin and Scorpion.
Oh, Scorpion! That is one of them. He's coming back.
Oh my! Finally, dude.
They
get Michael Mando to be in the movie for 4 minutes, and then they don't even bring.
Yeah, Tombstone, Scorpion, and Boomerang is the other one. No idea who Boomerang is.
I would be very surprised if Venom isn't in it either.
Hold on, can I read this next part? Well, we're supposed to do, in theory, another trilogy of Spider-Man movies.
Because he signed another. Yes, I know he signed another 3-movie contract.
And I would be surprised if they just dumped Venom on us immediately.
Well, they might do Black Suit though.
I don't
just
know.
not Venom yet.
That's kind of why I don't think that Kingpin's going to be in this movie. I think if anybody, it'll be Mr. Negative.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Negative was in it.
I don't know if Aunt May was in charge of Feast, but she's dead now, right? So in theory, there's this connection to be made here between Feast and the introduction of Mr. Negative that they could do.
Yeah.
But let me list this. This is the AI overview for this movie's other potential villains. The ones that I know I've heard of for sure are Tombstone, Scorpion, and Boomerang. Other potential villains mentioned include Ned Leeds. That's the first one they list. Ned. Kingpin, Mr. Negative, Prowler, Venom, Mysterio, Kraven, Silver Sable, Tombstone, Alistair Smith, Chameleon again. Did I just read Chameleon? Dr. Octopus, Black Cat.
Get named DC villain.
Get named Black Cat. We're going to Bong World with this one. Spider-Man versus Black Cock. And then it says Felicia Hardy. Additionally, Null, the main villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is rumored to appear in Spider-Man 4 and also have a cameo in Avengers Secret Wars. Since when was Null the main villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And I just it lists Chameleon twice and Mysterio. Mysterio's dead.
That's why you don't trust the AI
so
overview.
Funny. It's so funny, dude.
Here's my here's what I'd like to see. This probably won't happen, but here's what I'd like to see. Because the more I've thought about it, the more I realize that the Peter Parker slash Spider-Man in the Tom Holland trilogy is pretty similar to the Peter Parker Spider-Man in the Insomniac games. And
is he?
That's who he most closely resembles.
I don't know if he is.
That's who he most closely
Spider-Man.
resembles. True.
He's Spider-Man. Of course he resembles Spider-Man, moron.
True. Here's what I'd like them to do. I don't think that they'll do this. But, of course, in the end credits, there's the symbiote was partially left behind when Doctor Strange did the thing. What I would like to see is that get incorporated where it maybe attaches to Peter, and then there's like the whole black suit thing, and maybe that ties into trying to jog Ned and MJ's memory if they chose to go that way, which would A, really piss me off, B, I think it would be good, but it would really piss me off because it would completely negate the ending of the last movie, but they could spin it into something good.
Because Ned becomes a villain.
Well, that's right.
I'm
getting to that. So, like they try and re-jog his memory, but like he's also getting more consumed by the symbiote. But then Peter, well, maybe not Peter, but like somebody gets the symbiote off of him and it like attaches onto Ned, and then Ned becomes like this Venom thing, and then like
this is a bad idea.
Well, because
you want Ned to become Venom.
Well, because in the game, Harry becomes Venom after losing the
movies are not based off of the game.
I'm just saying that they could tie this in. I would like to see some of the stuff in the games get transferred into movie form because I think it'd be really cool.
He's Spider-Man, and he's based off a comic book.
Got it.
They're not gonna one for one. What if in this next movie we do Mr. Negative and Dr. Otto Octavius and the Sinister Six in the same movie, and then for the next one we'll do Venom and then the other Venom who's the woman, and Kraven the Hunter and anybody else who's in Spider-Man 2. Never played the game. Never finished the first one.
I think doing something like that would be cool. I think I would be very surprised if they don't do something with the symbiote, just because of how the end credits scene left off. And they definitely have a lot of directions that they could spin it into to make it good.
Cinnamon. Listen.
Stop eating jelly beans.
Listen. Goddamn. Holy shit. Why? Wow. Marvel is known for not doing anything with end credit scenes. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just never did anything with Venom.
I mean,
Just
that's totally
they never
possible.
do anything with Blade and the Black Knight at the end of Eternals, or they never do anything with Beast at the end of the Marvels.
That's definitely possible.
Or Hercules from Love and Thunder.
It's definitely possible because
Likus, help me out. What other end credit things have they done nothing with?
I mean, I can't really blame them for like the Hercules one because there hasn't been another Thor. Like the Doctor Strange one, I guess would count too, though. I don't remember what her name is though.
There you go. Holy shit.
Compilation! Here we go!
Holy fuck.
Let's go!
God damn.
I keep eating this. I don't like jelly beans.
I need to go over to your house and fucking throw the jelly beans out the window so you stop eating them.
How funny would that be mid-podcast? Gets up, leaves, shows up here 10 minutes later.
Holy fuck. Ugh. Anyway.
That's why we need to get green screen of you coming through a door. So I can put it on this side of my screen. We can have you leave, go up, or like just out of frame, basically. And then I'll have like a green screen door of you bursting through the door to come scream at me. Get rid of the jelly beans! Or whatever Tyler would say. I am not a crook.
True.
Things Tyler is known for saying all the time. Yeah, just like that. Anyway, Spider-Man.
So that's what I would like to see from this fourth movie. Back to No Way Home though.
You didn't even say anything. The only thing that you just said that you'd like to see from this next movie is you want it to be like the game. That's the only thing you said.
Shut up. I want to talk
Do you
about
have anything specific?
I'll get back to it. I'm going to talk about the third movie some more.
Then I'll talk about things I want to see in the movie.
Okay, Likus. Good shout. You haven't talked in a while.
I do want the black suit. I don't want Venom, I don't think, but I do want the black suit.
Secret Wars, right? Because that has to, because that's where the black suit debuted.
Well, yeah,
the black suit debuted.
I could see him getting it in like Doomsday or whatever. If he's even in that, I don't even.
I mean, he has to be, right? We got to do the cash grab of Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom.
Oh, that's true.
Tom Holland's
in one of the movies, he's gonna meet and get like a 5-minute conversation with
Doom is gonna
the guy who's definitely not an Iron Man variant and is actually Doctor Doom.
So, because I think it's gonna be very similar to Endgame and Infinity War, where they're gonna kill a bunch of people in one of the movies and bring half of them back in the next one. And Spider-Man again could very well be one of them.
To reduce the number of characters they're focusing on, right? Like.
Right?
But who? So even if they do a similar formula in like Secret Wars, who are the characters they're? Doctor Strange.
Like I did not hear a single thing that you just said. I'm gonna be real.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like how in Endgame they focused on like the original 6 Avengers and then like Ant-Man and like Nebula.
Yeah, I forgot. It was the original and. Rhodey from Iron Man, and then
yeah.
Paul Rudd was also there. Hot Tub Time Machine. I think Here's who I think is going to die permanently at the end of these, right? Doctor Strange, because that's a Secret Wars thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ant-Man, because it's Paul Rudd, and they better kill him before they have the chance to make Ant-Man 4. Thor, I think is going to die.
I could see that. I think they're going to kill a Thanos, like a variant of Thanos.
The Invisible Woman. Killing him. Whoa. They had their chance to do that, Likus. They did it in freaking... What the fuck is that? What If? Where they kill Thanos, remember? That happens like 5 times in What If.
I know. But I think they're going to want to do the comic panel.
There's no way they're going to do the comic panel where Doctor Doom kills Thanos by ripping out his spine to get the Infinity Gauntlet. That's just not going to happen. He doesn't need the Infinity Gauntlet.
He doesn't need the Infinity Gauntlet.
But that's the whole point of why he does that. And then Namor,
it's cool though. They'll find a reason.
Black Panther just like fight over the Infinity Gauntlet until Doctor Doom shows up and is like, "What's up?" Hold on, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can find the Secret Wars comic. I think I own one.
Do you think he's gonna say "I am Doctor Doom" like I am Iron Man? Hopefully, right?
I am Victor Von Doom. Who do you think Jack Black will play? And more importantly, do you think MODOK will be making a return?
What if it is? What if it... I hope to God they bring back MODOK.
Oh,
MODOK 2. MODOK 2. MODOK 2. MODOK 2.
Jack Black will play Kraven the Hunter.
Female
Oh,
MODOK.
God.
It's a character that exists. Jack Black can play that.
True.
Alright, keep talking.
Pringleson, who do you hope shows up in Avengers Secret War?
Jack Black.
Could you imagine?
That'd be really fucking funny.
It would be.
Maybe my 2 favorite actors right now are Jack Black and Willem Dafoe. So, could you imagine? Could you imagine like a crossover like Kung Fu Panda versus Green Goblin?
Dude.
Someone, does the Kung Fu Panda want to come out to play? Skadoosh.
Dude.
It's like throwing dumplings at him, and Green Goblin's just like,
I'm looking for my comic books.
Oh, that would be fucking funny.
Hello.
Oh, that would actually be really fucking funny. It's just like random Jack Black. favorite part of Spider-Man 4 is when Jack Black shows up as like Slime Cube and fucking bombs the entire city of New York.
What if Jack Black is Mr. Negative? What do you think?
I would probably lose my shit. We'll be in the theater watching that movie, and he'll show up, and it'll be like Chicken Jockey 2.0. Except instead of everybody committing a riot, it'll just be me. It'll be my version of Chicken Jockey. That would be really funny, actually. Holy shit. They could do it too. It wouldn't be the best choice, but they could definitely do it.
Say that one more time?
They could do it. They could have Jack Black play Martin Lee. It would be really weird, but
I mean, they're probably going to get an Asian guy to do it, right?
you would think. But Cleveland Brown isn't voiced by a black guy either.
Is that true?
He wasn't, actually, until only a couple years ago.
That seems crazy.
It's actually a really surreal fact. I could
Like for literally like the entire time Family Guy was on, they just
yeah,
it was a white guy doing
during
that.
the whole like during the entirety of the Cleveland show as well, he was voiced by a white guy. It's actually
What?
insane.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Spider-Man. Oh, Noah's back.
Lelo. I'm making One Piece reference. So I didn't find the comic book. I'm gonna fix that real quick. God damn. Woo. I didn't find the comic book, but I have two options that we could read right now.
So like two
Take your
options.
pick. Likus, take your pick. What are we reading tonight?
Batman Earth 1.
Really? You don't want the American class structure in an age of growing inequity?
That sounds like what Anne's reading for class right now.
It's something I bought for class, the one that made me drop out of college.
Oh.
And I never took the plastic off.
Unboxing?
No, I might be able to sell it for like $500 to some stupid college student. Another topic for another day. What I want to see in Secret Wars, and whatever the other movie's called, Doomsday, is specifically
Jack Black.
I want to see Chris Pratt not return, and the Guardians to just not be in the movie, because it would feel weird if they were. I feel like their story's done, right?
I think they might do something else with Star-Lord, though. I don't know what, but, like, they might just have him do...
They're gonna do like a side story.
Like...
We're gonna have cutaway gags.
Like, there's probably some other random team that Star-Lord was on at some point. I don't know any, but, like, probably.
The Boston Red Sox.
I think Nova being on the Guardian. Yeah, they're gonna have the Boston Red Sox. But anyway, I hope they don't do anything with them. And I just want... You know how they did the women's Avengers Endgame? I want a young Avengers. And I want, like, a scene like that where it's just all, like Kate Bishop, Ironheart, the Hulk's, bastard child. You know? I want them all to be, like, lined up. And they'll go and fight a gorilla one at a time.
That would be
Can
interesting.
I get a gorilla? Hey. Like, it's... I will be on board with James Gunn's Superman universe if the possibility of getting a movie where Gorilla Grodd is the main villain is a thing.
Who's the other one?
I want that.
Is there another gorilla villain?
Silver... It's a silver gorilla. What the hell is he called?
Because one's a Superman villain and one's a Flash villain, right?
Yeah, one is the Superman villain. Hold on, let me look up Superman gorilla villain. There he is. Ultra Humanite.
Oh, yeah.
But, it would be cool to get Gorilla Grodd. And also, the Brain from Teen Titans. I have that. I want that. Then I'll be on board for James Gunn's whatever he does. I don't even care if the movie's good. All I know is Big Gorilla. And that 100 men could beat that gorilla in a fight. But all it takes is one Speedy Gonzalez guy. Who do you think would win in a fight? One Tasmanian devil, 100 people?
Probably the Tasmanian Devil.
Why?
Super speed.
How many people do you think it would take down to... How... I'm having a jelly bean-induced stroke. I should eat more. Tyler, 10 for Spider-Man.
I think the main reason why I think stop eating jelly bean.
Why do I keep getting bad ones?
I think the main reason why I think No Way Home is very emotional. I think that think why I was so emotional in the review is not necessarily the ending's bad. I don't like the ending. That's probably a controversial opinion. I don't like it. I think it's a dumb it's a dumb plot thing that they do, especially looking at it now more how dumb Doctor Strange was and how annoying he was in this movie, and like how that just like caused all this shit to happen. Well, he didn't cause any of this shit to happen, but he certainly didn't help the kid.
Doctor Strange is directly responsible for everything that happened.
Yeah,
it's literally his fault.
No, it's Peter's fault for being a fucking idiot and giving up the Stark glasses to Mysterio at the bar in Czech Republic.
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying.
He did do that, and that did lead to the events of this. But Doctor Strange didn't even like the thing is Doctor Strange basically casted a Mephisto monkey paw spell, where like he was like, yeah, everybody will forget you're Spider-Man, that's for sure, but nobody will remember who you are. And that's like a very paw spell. I guarantee you Doctor Strange could have framed that better. And that video you sent us to watch, he points out the fact that they don't even discuss how their spell is going to work before it happens, and that's a very good point. Besides the fact that the whole point of the movie is that Peter's trying to get into MIT.
And they never bring up MIT. Like, they bring it up at the end from Ned and MJ, which, like, okay, that makes sense, right? And then, but like, when they did the whole scene on the bridge, when Peter saves the MIT admissions lady during the Doc Ock attack, I was 100% certain that we would hear from this lady again at the end of the movie. Obviously, with how the movie ended, that wouldn't have made much sense. But
she's there to say goodbye to Peter before everybody forgets.
Green Goblin found the one woman talking to. Brings her.
Hear Likus.
What? Green Goblin found the one woman he saw Peter talk.
He got cut off again. We'll never get to know. The Russian government is covering up whatever you're trying to say.
The Green Goblin found the one woman that he saw Peter.
Literally happened again.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know what's happening.
He's being gaslit.
The Green Goblin. He found the one woman that he saw Peter talking to and brought her to the Statue of Liberty.
Okay, it came through that time. For a second there, it did beep, and I thought you were gone again, and I was literally about to drop topics and talk about whatever the hell's going on. But also, I had another point, and I forgot what it was. Continue.
My favorite part of this movie is probably not the returning actors and the returning villains and the returning Spider-Men are incredible.
I remember what my point was. Hold on. The spell started out, and I don't even remember if the video you sent me told me about this. God, I fucking hate jelly beans, dude.
Stop eating them!
The spell started out. Nobody will remember that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And at the very end, it becomes nobody will remember who Peter Parker is. Those are completely different spells, and I don't know how that happened, but it did.
Well, I think, doesn't Peter, like, tell Doctor Strange to, like, change it at the very end? Or no? Am I thinking?
They're coming. He just says they're coming. Everyone who knows Spider-Man as Peter Parker is coming to this world. And he says, just cast the spell. Make it so nobody remembers Peter Parker. And then instead of Doctor Strange being like, well, what if instead I made nobody remember that Spider-Man is Peter Parker? Because then it would just be a bunch of random villains who know who Peter Parker is, but don't have any idea who the hell why they know that.
Yeah.
Also, why do so many villains know who Peter Parker is? He's not doing a very good job keeping that mask on, is he?
I mean,
he barely even wears the mask in the No Way Home.
Overheard, right?
He didn't know. Electro had no idea. Because he found out in this movie where he's like, thought you'd be black.
Yeah. Wait, true.
But I mean, like, the Lizard knew, I guess. Green Goblin knew.
Oh yeah, because Peter had his period on the
Did
ceiling.
Did the Lizard really know?
Yeah, he knew. The Lizard knew.
But Sandman didn't. I don't think Sandman knew.
Sandman knew.
Oh.
They had a whole conversation. Peter, it's me, Flint Marko.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Because Spider-Man, like, took off his mask and had, like, a gay kiss with him in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. After beating him with a train.
Yeah. And then going to his aunt and being like, hey, that guy that killed Uncle Ben, Spider-Man killed him last night. And she's like, Spider-Man doesn't kill people. And then he's like...
Worst plot ever, by the way.
Spider-Man killed him. Don't ask me how I know.
Let's shoehorn in the third movie that some other guy killed Uncle Ben and not the guy who killed him.
And also that he didn't do it on purpose and that he got bumped into and shot him on accident.
Mm-hmm. He accidentally killed Uncle Ben. For no reason. We're not here to talk about... Spider-Man 3 is a bad movie. Spider-Man... Tobey Maguire, not good movies. Don't know what to tell you, chat.
But actually, that's something else I wanted to bring up. A lot of people, I found some correlations. The people who like the ending of No Way Home are big Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fans.
I don't know if that's true.
What evidence are you basing this on? Because I like the ending of No Way Home.
I also like the ending of No Way Home.
You both are anomalies. Also, you guys have both watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies more recently than most other people that are talking about it, so that's also probably a key point.
Pringleson, I feel like you might just be making this up.
Well,
he absolutely is.
This is what?
He absolutely is making this up, dude. This is all false information. He's like, he just does this all the time. He'll say something and then, like, without any information to back it up. I should challenge you to make an argumentative essay on some random topic and then just I'll fact check it. I'll make Ann Pomeroy do it. I'm sure Ann Pomeroy would enjoy that a lot.
True. But so, like, the people that I feel like the idea, there's like people that like the older Spider-Man, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. They like seeing him more classic, miserable, living in the apartment, just doing friendly neighborhood Spider-Man stuff. And then people who like the higher tech MCU, has friends Spider-Man guy, which is Tom Holland. And then there's Andrew Garfield in the middle.
Has friends!
Then there's Andrew Garfield, which is like a meeting point between both of these guys, and has
Tobey
like
Maguire fans when Spider-Man can't make his own web fluid anymore and has to adapt the ability to make it come out of his body.
True.
That's my take. Is I think that people who like, because they want to see a miserable Spider-Man. They want to see a more separated set of characters, Peter Parker and Spider-Man, whereas the Tom Holland is a little bit more intertwined, I guess. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but I mean,
I've got bad news. I've got bad news for you, Tyler. The Spider-Man movies are based off of a comic book. And guess who's miserable in every single comic book he's in? Spider-Man.
Anybody who's ever reading the comic is miserable.
Is that true, chat? Let's find out.
That's a Batman comic?
Yeah, but he's like way more miserable than Spider-Man is.
That is true.
Ooh,
But
goddamn.
also Batman.
Whoa! Whoa! Holy shit! Oh my god! Damn! Holy shit!
What the?
Look at that! Look at the finger on this woman, dude!
Look at the leg!
God! That's crazy! That is so
It looks like
messed up.
her leg looks like a flamingo's leg. Oh no, not a flamingo. What the backwards knee?
No, you're right. It was a crane, but I do believe that
I think a big reason why I like the Tom Holland Spider-Man the most out of the three is because I also really like the character dynamics between him, Ned, and MJ.
they were a good trio. But now Ned has moved on to CEO of Sex, and Zendaya is smashing. What was that other one? Willy Wonka. What's his name? Charlie. Timothy Chalamet. Zendaya has moved on to be with him. Ned is now the CEO of Sex. So, better places.
My face
Crazy what MIT does to people.
My face when Zendaya and Tom Holland got engaged.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
When was that?
A few months ago. Which is their relationship in real life is also, I think, a big reason why they're...
I've got bad news. The first article listed here, and I'll be honest with you, it's from Yahoo, so take it with a grain of salt. Tom Holland and Zendaya hit pause on wedding plans as Hollywood careers take center stage. Sounds like Timothy Chalamet is getting a little bit more puss than Tom intended.
In boots?
Sorry, Tom.
True.
My door is always open. Not not for sexual things, Tom. Get your head out of the gutter. We can play Minecraft together
He would like that.
and get a Pizookie. Anyway, Likus, what do you think?
I don't even remember what else I was going to say.
That's what I
Likus, you
think.
can't just do a visual bit every time I ask you what you think.
Oh, I'll narrate it. I stroked my beard.
Likus strokes his beard with a concerned and stressed out look on his face.
I think the chemistry is like in these movies is, again, like I said, it's my favorite part. And it's really crazy kind of thinking back, especially to the Tobey Maguire trilogy, about how much better, like, I read a lot of people saying that, like, Zendaya, when they announced that she was going to be MJ, people were, like, getting really pissed off because they didn't think she would be a good MJ. And it turns out she was, like, by far the best one. And, like, how much...
Well, what did she do before Spider-Man?
She was a Disney kid.
Are you sure you weren't getting that conflated with something else? Because she's also playing Shrek's daughter, and I know people hate that idea, so...
I mean, that's... Maybe I was getting mixed up. I don't think I mixed up my Spider-Man thoughts with Shrek 5 or whatever we're on, but... I mean, because I remember, I will never forget how bad the interactions between Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker, and MJ are in those movies. It is horrific. It is so cringe. It is terrible. So it's like, it's like very refreshing. It's not so much in Homecoming, but in Far From Home, and especially in No Way Home, I really, really like.
Sam Raimi experience, I don't know what to tell you. Every Sam Raimi movie I've seen, everybody always raves about Sam Raimi. Evil Dead, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. His dialogue is like one of the weakest points of these movies, especially in Spider-Man movies. and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
We'll get to that though. We'll watch those movies in 3 years. Once we start up the part 2 of the Marvel movies marathon. But this time we'll
go
have
and
8
watch
marathons.
Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2,
and Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Wait, what movie should we pick? I'm going to put it on the marathon list right now. Let's pick a movie that we watch 5 times.
Minions.
Does it have to be a Minion? We already have Minions in America.
Fat Albert.
God. Fat Albert. 5 times. Okay. Now we just have to put it in the communal calendar and we're set to go. We'll do that after Pirates of the Caribbean.
True.
We'll do them both.
We'll watch Pirates of the Caribbean 1, then Fat Albert, then Pirates of the Caribbean 2, then Fat Albert again, Pirates of the Caribbean 3, Fat Albert, Pirates of the Caribbean 4, then Fat Albert, and then the last Pirates of the Caribbean, and then Fat Albert again. 10 movie marathon, baby. It'll take like 3 days. Because after every Fat Albert, we got to go to Meyer.
What?
We have to see who does better. We have to get Subway, and we have to check for Pringles flavors every time.
After every Fat Albert?
The comedic potential of this vlog of us watching Fat Albert 5 times and going to Meyer after every time is so funny.
And we won't even be able to see who does better because they don't sell Pokemon anymore.
I had to buy gold bars.
Oh,
Put on
true.
TCG. That's a callback to the beginning of this episode. Woo!
Anyway, No Way Home. I hate the ending, like I said already. The reason why I hate the ending is I think it was unnecessary. I think it was the one cheap out of this movie, and here's why. The plot point of like things going to shit and then the movie making you think that the only way that it can be solved, or like the way it does, I guess, get solved, maybe not the only way it could have gotten solved, but the way it does, is like resetting everything, erasing memories, or like restarting the day, or restarting the whole thing so that it doesn't happen, when it's very clear to the viewer that that was not the best possible case to go. I talked about this in the review, but a movie that does this very closely to No Way Home is Happy Death Day. I don't know if either of you guys have seen that movie.
Nope.
Yeah,
Groundhog Day.
I don't
marathon.
It is in the marathon. I don't remember if it's the first one or the second one that does this. I want to say it's the first one. Because the whole thing is like every time that she dies, her day starts over. And then like midway through the movie, she goes on a big sequence of like dying several times because she's trying to figure out who the killer is in the movie. So, and like she can't figure it out, or she gets killed, or something happens. But then there's one sequence during the movie that happens that they spend a lot more time on in comparison to the other ones, where her mom, who in every other version of this day that she keeps having to relive, is alive, but she's dead in the other ones, but she's alive in this very one. I don't remember exactly why that is, but she's alive, and she is in a very committed relationship with the guy she likes in the movie too. So like her life is in the best possible.
Question. Do these movies where they repeat the days, I've never seen any of them. Never seen Groundhog Day. Never seen this one. Do they at the very end when it stops repeating, do they start over at the same day, or do they make it through the day and it just stops repeating?
I don't know. I don't know how it works in Groundhog Day because I've also never seen that one. But in Happy Death Day, the cycle doesn't. The cycle just stops when she eventually does find out who the killer is and then kills that person.
But if she dies again, does that change? Does
no, the cycle is broken.
Oh, because there's Happy Death Day 2.
Yeah, there's a second Happy Death Day where the cycle then, like, she's out of the cycle and she's, like, living life, and then the cycle restarts again for a completely different killer and, like, reason. But I haven't seen the second one. I saw the first one a really long time ago, but I haven't reviewed it because I really want to watch it again because I don't remember a whole too much about it. I know a good amount I remember about it, but I definitely need to watch it again. And I never seen the second one. But anyway, in this movie, there's a really nice sequence where she's, like, again, in a very committed relationship, and she gets to go out to lunch with her mom and get some very heartwarming conversation with her mom, and, you know, life's great. And she's like, oh, screw this, I'm gonna stay in this version forever, and, you know, everything's gonna be all fine and dandy, you know, whatever. It's really the best possible outcome for her. That is, of course, I don't remember exactly why she decides to change her mind, but it's a really dumb reason. That's all I remember. Where she's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to give up having my mom back in my life and having the guy I love in a committed relationship with me just so I can keep finding out who this killer is. I don't remember exactly why she chooses to do that. But it's but she, like, has this very conflicting moment where all signs point to her staying in this version of this day because she's going to make it to the next day and break the cycle. But at the very last second, she decides to jump out of a window and restart the whole thing again without her mom.
Okay, so when she dies, so it doesn't have to kill... So somebody doesn't have to kill her, she just has to die and start?
Yes. She doesn't...
Okay, that was what I was asking. It doesn't... So just because the killer's dead, and so regardless of whether or not she dies, she is stuck in this eternal torment regardless, right? Because even if she lives...
Well, the whole premise is
and she goes through her life and dies of old age, she'll respawn back at
the whole premise
like
is this... The whole premise is this person who's the killer is, like, meeting her in specific locations and then killing her. Like, the first time she gets stabbed, the second time she, like, gets clobbered in the head with a golf club, she gets pushed out of a window, she gets bombed, she jumps out of a clock tower, she jumps out of a window, she crashes into an electrical, like, plant, and then she eats a cupcake which is poisoned, and that's how she figures out who the killer is. But anyway,
so the thing came in and said it's clobbering time, killed her.
Yeah. I'm trying not to spoil too much in the movie. Well, I guess that's kind of thrown out the window because I'm giving out one of the more heartfelt scenes in the movie, pretty much verbatim. But my point with bringing this up is, it's when she chooses and all logic says not to do this, she does it anyway. Because the plot wants to force it along. At least in Happy Death Day, though, she does end up getting into a committed... She does end up falling back in love with the guy. She doesn't get her mom back, but, like, she got some good closure in that scene. So it kind of softens the blow of it. And then, you know, the other part gets fixed. She ends up finding out who the killer is and fixing that, and she breaks the cycle. So at least and the movie gives itself time to kind of come out of this situation. At least... more of a middle ground, not like all the way bad, but not like the ideal what it would have been, you know. That's not the case in Spider-Man No Way Home, because they do it at the end, and it really pisses me off, and this is probably the point about, like, some of the dynamics of the characters changing, where, like, all these fucking movies, the Tom Holland ones, whenever like every character, everything's like logic's all pointing to doing this thing, or like just like bowing out and moving on. Peter's always like, oh no, there's always another way. Come on, we can do it this way. We can do it, do it this way. There's always a different way. There's always a different way. There's always a different way. He even says that earlier on in the movie when Doctor Strange has the box and he's ready to send all the villains back. He's like, no, there's another way. We can purify them. We can make them. We can rehab them, and we can do this before sending it back. We can change the destiny. But then for some fucking point, for some fucking reason, at the end of this fucking movie, when everybody else is like, everybody else, and including fucking MJ, who at the earlier part of the movie is like, I wish for disappointment, because then I don't ever get disappointed. Oh, I see the bad thing and everything. She's like, no, there's another way. There's another way. This is it. We can figure it out. We can come up with a plan. And even fucking Doctor Strange is like, there's another plan. We can do this. There's another thing. And then Peter finally, after 3 fucking movies of doing this shit, decides, no, now there's not another way. Why the fuck did it take you 3 fucking movies to do this?
What? Why did it take you 3 movies to do what?
Taking 3 fucking movies to finally do what he should have done at the end of the fucking first movie. Or better yet, not giving the fucking Stark glasses the goddamn material the power.
What was he supposed to do? What are you saying here? You said, like, what? Pingle? I don't understand what you want him to do. That he should have done at the beginning. What is that?
It's not that what he does, it's the fact that they just flip his entire character at the last second without any real, like, bridging the gaps between them, just so they can fucking force this final plot part along to make this shit happen. When I very much fucking know that they're gonna go back on that because Marvel is a bunch of fucking cheap asses.
That's why they're bringing Iron Man back from the dead.
Well, they already did that in Far From Home when he rises out of the grave as zombie Iron Man.
Yeah, but this time he's actually coming back. He's playing a different character.
True.
Chris Evans is coming back too as Captain Hydra.
Anyway, yeah, that's why I hate the ending, is because all throughout these movies, Peter has some very convenient fuck-ups and some very convenient places of stubbornness.
I'm being absolved. What's happening? It's like I'm fading. I'm becoming a children's drawing. What is going on? Oh, we're good. We're fixed.
And he has this to force their fucking plot along, and then they flip it at the end. Once again, to force their fucking plot along. That's why it pisses me off.
I don't think it's that bad. Also, it'll be fine if, like, Zendaya doesn't come back, and Ned just comes back as a villain who doesn't remember Peter Parker at all.
That's not what I think they're going to do, based off of the ending, which I rip on the ending a lot in the review, and I rip on it here. It's nothing against the actors. Even the ending is very well acted between all of them. Like, the emotions and, like, the vibe is very well conveyed, which I can appreciate. And, like, from the ending, I can see, like, some of the little, subtle things. The little subtle things that you can see at the end of the movie, I think, hint at the fact that they are going to, that they're gonna figure it out eventually. Maybe not fully in the next movie.
I don't know.
Maybe
I kind of hope
again.
not. I think it's time for us to go on our Gwen arc.
Well, they already did that with the Andrew Garfield movies and in the Miles Morales movies, if I remember correctly.
They actually did them in the Tobey Maguire movie too.
True.
Oh yeah, with Claire Dearing. Forgot.
And then he uses her to make MJ mad, even though Gwen is clearly the better choice between those two. Such a misplay.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Claire Deering over whoever the fuck MJ is. That's a clear choice.
One of them wears a bra, the other one doesn't. Go with the one that does. Because the one that doesn't, those will be sagging in about 10 years, and the fun bags will be not so fun. Just ask Likus. He knows all about it.
My final point. Final point about this. I do have another Marvel discussion topic that I almost forgot about. That's not related to Spider-Man at all. So I want to get to that. But final point about No Way Home. I think the reason why I can still again appreciate the acting, and it's like, I really see it as a bad ending because I very much like the character dynamics between Peter,
You're
MJ.
attached.
Yes.
So it's hitting you harder like it's supposed to.
Yes. That's why.
And you hate it because change is bad.
True.
And you're a pseudo-Republican.
That true.
That's why you like NASCAR and hate the ending of No Way Home.
The scene that, and it wasn't even like that last scene between Peter, MJ, and Ned. That was the one that really hit me. It's the one at the very end when he's visiting Aunt May's grave and Happy shows up and it's like, how'd you know her?
And Happy doesn't know who he is?
Yeah. I was like, goddamn, dude, goddamn. That and the Andrew Garfield catching MJ scene was also really good.
Yeah.
Which you didn't even understand until after.
I did not understand it. I was like, I remember watching it, I was like, okay, there's some sort of symbolism here, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember what it is. And then somebody brought it up in a random video I was watching. I was like, oh shit, that's what it was. God damn it. And I was like, I started to tear up a little bit. I was like, damn, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, it was a great scene. That's why we're getting Andrew Garfield's third Spider-Man movie.
If we only can hope.
We only can hope. And we'll get Gwen again. Be alive. Because Spider-Man heard Electro. So the Green Goblin didn't have to break him out of jail. The blood of Spider-Man.
Hey, Spider-Man, come out to play. Love Willem Dafoe in the movie. There's just so many great acting jobs in these Marvel movies that we've been watching lately. Like fucking, not even just like Tom Holland or like Zendaya or Ned. Even Ned's great. Like Nick Fury, Willem Dafoe, Happy.
I like how you interchangeably use Tom Holland, Zendaya, Ned, Nick Fury, Willem Dafoe, Happy Hogan, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., Quentin Beck, Ryan Reynolds,
J. Jonah Jameson,
J.K. Simmons.
But I think No Way Home helps solidify the fact that Spider-Man's probably my favorite Marvel IP, or whatever you want to call it. It passes Deadpool. I really like it.
You really, you like him that much? You'd
Yeah.
be willing to sacrifice the only movies you've ever given 10 out of 10, other than Minions.
True.
Because you gave all 3 Deadpools 10 out of 10.
They're
And you
superb
gave this
movies.
movie a 9.
They're superb movies, and I still really, really like them. Like, they're really good. But
Where do they rank against Paul Blart?
they're better than Ball Blart.
Ball Blart.
Well, we're gonna be watching the Paul Blart movies here soon in the Kevin James marathon. So
Ball Blart Call Mop.
Oh, aren't I lucky?
Yeah, because it's Pirates next, and then it's Paul Blart, because that was the second choice. And then it's Hank Hill. Tom
Hanks will be a good one.
And then it'll be Action, which got a single vote between both polls. It's crazy how
The marathon.
engagement.
the marathon I'm really excited for is the Baz Luhrmann marathon, but I feel like we're gonna need to buy an MGM Plus subscription for that, and I don't know if I want to stoop to that low.
The Baz Luhrmann
Baz Luhrmann marathon.
What is that?
It's the one with the Great Gatsby in it, and
Oh, the one that I don't know why you're so excited for that one. That one sounds like it's hella boring.
It's not. I don't think, at least.
Like, at least with Pirates, I can dissuade you and tell you that those movies are not nearly as boring for you as Lord of the Rings was. But those other movies, I can't say that. I can't say that. I know. I mean, Great Gatsby by itself is a very long movie.
They're all very long, but they're all just packed with some really good stuff. I remember, like, the Elvis movie's good. Great Gatsby, I remember being good. I think Romeo and Juliet will be good. I don't know anything about the other three.
I don't know. I think you'll enjoy Pirates more than you think. I think it'll be like an awakening for you. Hopefully. I don't want to hype it up too much. Because, like, every time me and Likus hype something up for you, we never get the response we want. Like, when Ned says, I'm looking at porn.
Yeah.
I'd already seen that clip. I'd seen that clip before. I forgot what movie it was from, but I'd seen it before. So I was like, oh, yeah, this was great. This is really funny.
Well, you gotta stop watching all of your TV shows and movies on YouTube Shorts.
I'm watching the movie Whiplash through Shorts right now, and I added it to the marathon list because I kept getting these shorts. And they're connected, right? Because they're all from the same movie, but, like, they're out of order, and I'm like, I don't know where this goes. I don't know which one came first, the chicken or the egg. So that's, like, 90% of the reason why I add marathon list, because I'm like, either somebody in a podcast I'm listening to talks about it, or I find it on YouTube Shorts, and I just want to know.
But yeah, I'm actually excited for Pirates of the Caribbean because hopefully it will make me stop watching random ass interviews from Tom Holland on YouTube, which is what I've been spending most of my week doing when I'm not at work.
You're really invested, aren't you?
I very much am.
In Tom Holland's future. That's why we have to watch the Uncharted movie.
Oh, I've heard that one's so bad. We should have had that. We should have added that one to the video game marathon instead of fucking Ratchet and Clank or whatever it was.
I keep forgetting that we actually already did that marathon. Because it started with Sonic 2, and the Mario Brothers. But we've evolved so much since we added that marathon that it's changed like 4 times.
And we haven't done Sonic or the Mario movie. We didn't do any of those movies yet.
So I think there's going to be 6 Sonic movies. So we probably could hold off on that for a minute.
I didn't know they were making more. I thought Jim Carrey was retiring.
Jim Carrey... Spoilers! Jim Carrey dies in Sonic 3.
Oh,
I've never even seen the movie. I just know that happens.
Oh, well.
But they are going to make more, apparently.
Well, shit. Anyway, that's all the Spider-Man talk I wanted to do, because I can't think of anything more that I want to say without getting to crybaby sobby again. I did have another
watermelon and cinnamon. Fuck.
I did have another Marvel topic, and it came to me during It came
what
to
time
me
are we at? What time are we at?
1:52.
How have we been doing this for 2 hours? How do we do a
idea.
2-hour episode? I want to do the AI.
We'll do it next.
Okay.
So this came up to me during really Endgame, but also the beginning of Far From Home, with the whole Thanos snap and like how the world reacts to that, and like how society like reacts to half the world being vaporized. It's something that it got my mind thinking for a few hours until we watched No Way Home, and then my mind completely forgot about it so much so that I almost forgot to put it on this topics list. But we're talking about it now. it just got me thinking, because there's a lot of movies out there, a lot of that have like shown scenarios about how like the world would respond to stuff happening that's a very detrimental, like Planet of the Apes, with that whole infection thing that kills off most of the world and lets the apes take over. Then there's like The Last of Us, which watches society collapse in 4 total days. But this movie, with half of the world being snapped away at instantly, over 3 weeks later, it's still a mostly same functional world. Obviously, it's not the same. There's things that are not... I don't know how else to say it. But anyway, it got me thinking of like if that actually, something like that actually happened in real life, and how like the world would respond to that. Would society collapse, or would it rebound? Would it somewhat stay structured and rebound? You know.
I'm doing the sign language for the people that are watching. By the way, it was 5 years, actually, Tyler, between the snap and everybody coming back. Not 3 weeks.
Well, no, because there's a point in the in Endgame when it's been like 3 weeks, and that's when we like first see everybody like first see how the world has responded to it, and then yes, it's 5 years until everybody comes back. So, but it was just like. I personally find it very hard to believe that a Thanos snap would not see the Earth fall into complete apocalypse in that amount of time. Because you could sum it up to several different things causing it to fall into an apocalyptic state. Some countries would think that it was a declaration of war and just start throwing nukes everywhere.
True.
If certain, like, even if like certain world leaders were gone, it would cause those countries to like collapse. It would.
In the Trump era, if like half the population of the planet disappeared, I would hope to God that he would not handle that very well. And because, like, you gotta think, right? Religiously, there's a lot of Christians on the planet, and they would think that the rapture just happened, right? And
That's probably true, actually.
Hook all these people up, and they're what's left behind in hell. And Donald Trump would be like, I guess I'm the king of hell.
He probably would. He probably would just think that.
He would take over. He would be like, it would be very quick for like world leaders to be like, well, I guess I'll take over now. Half their army's gone. You know? I don't think the world would handle it very well.
No,
honestly,
I don't.
Hope to God I get snapped out of existence. But it would be funny if like Likus was the only one left behind, and he had to continue Pringleson content for 5 years.
That would be crazy.
The Likus
there would not be a
era.
Pringleson YouTube channel when you come back.
No, because we'll put it in Tyler's will that he'll leave the channel to you when he dies, and that his last wish is for you to continue the channel.
Oh, I would have to. If Pringleson's last will and testament is for me to take on his channel.
It can't be that hard. You just make a 5-minute movie or game review of a game you barely played or a movie you watched, you know?
Oh, that's true. There's so many games I haven't played that I could talk about.
Right? And you can just remake all the stuff that he already talked about. For the games that you already own.
I could play Balatro and actually finish one whole game. Video.
Yeah! The Likus era, I'm looking forward to it. But I'll be dead for 5 years, so it won't even matter.
You'll get so much content to watch when you're back.
Real. I'll have to catch up on the lore. Me and Ann Pomeroy will be scrambling to figure out where everything has ended up.
You'll have
How do we
5
fit this
years
into the
of
iceberg?
Mythical Morning to watch by the time you're back.
I already have that.
It'll be like It'll be like when Nick Fury comes back and he's like, I don't know what's the top from the bottom anymore, or whatever the fuck he says in Far From Home.
Bitch, please, you've been to space. That's what he says.
Anyway, going back to The Last of Us, the cordyceps infection causes the Earth to completely collapse in 4 days.
When were we talking about The Last of Us?
I'm just comparing, okay? An infection that wipes out almost about the same amount of people from the world as the Thanos snap does, causes the Earth to collapse in 4 days. Whereas you're telling me 5 years later, from an instantaneous snap, everybody's fine. I call, as Nick Fury also said in Far From Home, now that's some bullshit.
I don't know. Because they talk about it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? And they, like, briefly mention it. It's like, I came back and I was in somebody else's apartment.
I know, that was a very interesting opening sequence. I really liked it in Far From Home.
Yeah, where Spider-Man's there to shake hands.
On Shrek forever after.
And then Happy's like,
There's no
you
way.
cannot
There's
leave.
no way that happened, Likus. You're lying to me.
I did just lie.
Okay, thank God. It should be Fat Albert. You gotta get ready. You gotta study up for the marathon.
Oh, I have to train, yeah. To watch Fat Albert 5 times.
You got a mire near you? You'll have to go there after every time.
You do.
Cool. Will it take you 5 years to get there?
Hopefully not.
That would be one hell of a long marathon if that were the case.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think the world would handle it very well. The real world, I mean. Because on top of the fact that, like, flying helicopters crash into buildings and stuff, they don't talk about it at all in the movies. And people don't talk about it correctly in real life. Where, like, the assumption being that when everybody gets snapped back into existence, they end up exactly where they were snapped out of existence. People are like, well, what about the people on the plane? Did they spawn in the middle of the air? No, that's not how they work. They would spawn in the plane, right? The problem is, what about those people in the planes that crashed? What about those people in the helicopters that crashed? Where do they spawn back in? And, like, you can't sit here and tell me that they spawn back exactly in the same location they appeared in. Because guess what, motherfucker? The Earth is rotating. It's moving right now. And if that were the case, it would be like they would spawn in the middle of a wall. And then just be like, how do I get out? It's just not how that works, guys. This isn't Hot Tub Time Machine. That's not how time travel works. Idiot. Yeah. I do think though that the blip, the Grinch has arrived. I think that the blip is a much harder thing for this civilization to handle than everybody getting snapped out of existence. Because half the world's population disappears. That's inflation going down, brother. The demand will be lower, the supply will be high, so prices will go down, right? But as soon as they come back, inflation is going to be insane. Because they would have adjusted to the 5-year gap.
Well, especially after, the 5 years will, like, cause everything, and then it's going to be, like, an instantaneous reset, and it's just going to... So if, like, the world hasn't completely collapsed in the 5 years...
I think the world will be fine after everybody gets snapped out of existence. It's the problem is when everybody comes back. We're talking about 4 billion people, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot.
India will just explode. Like, I don't even know how they would handle it. Because the assumption is that they would just keep cranking out children like they were already, right? So we'd make that population back in India fairly quickly, I assume, right? And we'd probably go back into an era of, like, post-World War II where everybody's having, like, 7 kids. Because we got jobs to fill and not enough people to fill them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, how much has the population increased in 5 years, and then 4 billion people just appear out of nowhere? What about the naked people? they appear and they're just naked in somebody random's house, then what? They get put on like a sex offender list. And then what are they supposed to do? They can't get a job. They can, but nobody will hire them. Like, the problem is like there's so many laws and things that would have to be invented specifically for this, and it would change so many things. Like, who owns what? Like, what? In theory, like, everybody who moved in would have, like, squatters' rights, I guess, even if they did already own the thing. Like, if they bought a house that somebody else got blipped out of. Or would the people who blipped back have squatters' rights in the places that they reappeared? Because can you really technically say that they haven't been there for 5 years? How do you explain that they haven't been there for 5 years?
Well, I think that's...
How many people were sent to jail with the assumption of murdering someone else who just got snapped out of existence? And how many people murdered someone and said, well, they clearly just got snapped out of existence and didn't go to jail?
Mm.
There's so many, like, weird little things that nobody ever talks about, and everybody's just like, well, they had just respawn in the middle of the sky and fall to their deaths. Idiot! You're wrong!
Okay, the chances of that not happening to nobody out of 4 billion people, though, is quite small.
Nobody would fall out of a fucking sky. They would spawn in on the plane. If anything, the plane would crash because there would be, like, twice as many people on it all of a sudden. Well, I guess 1/4 as many people on that plane. Well, no. Well, yeah, it would be 1/4 because it would be 1/4 because of the new audience on the plane.
What?
So the original other half of the plane, in theory, landed and got off the plane fine. And then another whole group of people, when they got blipped back, were on that plane. So you'd have half of this one and a full thing of the other one. So you would have 1/4 of the people reappearing on this plane total. So you'd have 3/4 of plane people. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
And the weight limit would be insane. What about
like the theory of matter and the fact that like there'd be more matter on the planet than there was before the blip?
We don't talk about that. That's way
and
more
that like
complicated
the Earth's
than who
mantle
murdered somebody.
would crumble.
I think you vastly overestimate how heavy.
Do I? The obesity
What am I
crisis is
overestimating?
the obesity crisis is pretty high.
But you're assuming that all of the 4 billion people were obese. And even if I assumed that every one of those 4 billion people was 200 pounds, that's only 811 pounds. 800 billion pounds. That's not enough for the Earth's crust to crumble. Because they were already there before they got blipped. It might put it off its axis a little bit, that sudden change in weight. And we may go out of, our own rotation for a little bit. But, we'd come back. We would spiral out away as we lose all the weight. And then, the sun would gradually bring us back. And when weight comes in, we would slingshot, right? So we come around the sun, and then the weight comes back, and you're just, phew, and then you go off. But it's okay, because Iron Man... Oh, never mind. He's dead. We have Superman to save us now. He'll just, smash his fist into the planet and send it back into orbit. Likus knows what I'm talking about.
That's right.
And then you'll have Batman there with his really shitty controlling Batmobile car. Where do you
This is like the jelly bean mix. Hell.
Brings up
colors.
one last Marvel thing before we end this episode off. Where was Batman during the events of the blipping? Do you think Batman got blipped?
If this happened in the DC universe, Superman dies, the whole universe is fucked. Doesn't even matter who's left. All it takes is for Superman to die, and like Doomsday not to die. They're screwed.
That's true. What if it's the other way around, though?
Then they'll be fine because they'll still have Superman.
That's true. But
And they'll enact Prima Nocta and take over.
But where was Dr. House during the events of the blipping?
Where was Dr. House?
Do you think Dr.
Doing
House
pain
got
pills.
Do you think Dr. House got blipped?
Chat, let me know. Comments down below.
Pull it up,
What
Jamie.
do I call Danny DeVito? Or Stewie Griffin? Or Tom Cruise?
True. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Good throwback Marvel talk. Stay tuned for the next episode when we devolve more.
Throws it back.
And until next time,
Next episode?
I want to know. Let's know your thoughts about No Way Home and the whole
And the blip.
and the blip situation in the comments down below. I want to know your more thoughts about that too. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye.